Hey guys, we got some good stories today. So I found us a couple videos. I'm going to start on Pete Hegseth. Damn. Like, yeah, if anyone hasn't seen his Senate confirmation hearing, like, buckle up. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's at the very least entertaining, okay, no matter what you think about him. But I think it also points out the difference between Trump 1.0 versus Trump 2.0. And so let's just take a look at this MSNBC clip about it, and I'll give you my comments.
To understand the import and the stakes of what happened on Capitol Hill today, and to understand how it shows us exactly how Donald Trump, in his second term as president, has given up on even pretending to want to govern. We begin with a moment from exactly 8 years ago. Here's a snippet from the confirmation hearing of Donald Trump's first defense secretary, General Jim Mattis.
So this is 8 years ago, obviously, when when Trump was getting his first Secretary of Defense confirmed.
I'll join my colleagues in thanking you for your service. You've spent your entire life in service of the country, keeping us safe. And we all know the most important function of federal government is to keep its citizens safe at all times. And you've done that with honor and with integrity. So thank you on behalf of a grateful nation.
If you end up in this job, our national security may well depend in part on your willingness to voice your opinions, even when others disagree, even when you are under pressure, to remain silent. We are counting on you.
I believe.
I want to point out that's Elizabeth Warren, okay? Like, pretty much seen as a progressive voice, kind of just giving Mad Dog there, you know, like, you got the keys, bro, like, just, I trust you, you know what I mean? I don't know if I trust everybody, but I trust you.
That your appreciation for the costs of war in blood, treasure, and lives, and the impact on veterans afterward will enable you to be a check on rash and potentially ill-considered use of military force.
Another Democrat, you know what I mean? Just giving a thumbs up.
By a president-elect who perhaps lacks that same appreciation. And so I think you will have a critical role as Secretary of Defense in providing a check on that kind of action.
So all those comments made to Jim Mattis. Jim Mattis would go on to be confirmed by the United States Senate 98-1, a celebrated and politically uncontroversial pick by any ideological standard. Donald Trump at the time was proud to stand with him and to have nominated him. He made the announcement to great fanfare at a rally in December 2016.
One of our great generals. We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis.
Can we just say how much younger he looks right here? Like, dang, I forgot.
As our Secretary of Defense. Mad Dog. He's great. He is great. I asked one of the generals, I love the generals, and I won't use his name, but he probably would come forward. But I said to him, "You're a good general, aren't you?" "Yes, sir, I am." I said, "So how do you compare to General Mattis? How do you compare to Mad Dog?" "Sir, he's better than I am."
The caliber.
I love Trump. "Sir, he's better than I am."
The character, the reputation of General Jim Mattis mattered to Trump, and you heard the crowd roar. Important to know where we've been to understand where we are. Vital context for what happened today at the confirmation hearing for a very different person, a man named Pete Hegseth, who went before the Senate Armed Services Committee today. Fox News Weekend host Pete Hegseth, to put it mildly, is no Jim Mattis. No, not even by Trump standards. If anything, the through line of Trump's picks to lead the Pentagon, from General Jim Mattis to Mark Esper to Pete Hegseth, represents and perfectly encapsulates the complete erosion of standards that, ironically, Pete Hegseth likes to complain about. Except Hegseth attributes an erosion of standards to women who serve their country with honor, women who go toe-to-toe with any man serving in the U.S. military. Here's Senator Tim Kaine questioning Pete Hegseth on his past.
You cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you? Those were false charges. Well, no, fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I'm so grateful for the marriage I have to this amazing woman behind me.
You've admitted that you had sex at that hotel in October 2017. You said it was consensual. Isn't that correct?
Anything...
That's busted, guys. That phase, anything that,
You've admitted that it was consensual, and you were still married, and you just had a child by another woman.
Again,
how do you explain your judgment?
Completely false charges against me. You fully investigated, and I was completely clear.
We'll stop here for a second. Now, here are the facts. Prosecutors declined to charge Pete Hegseth with rape after Monterey police investigated an accusation that he had raped a woman while at a conference in 2017. The fact pattern is not the same thing as what Pete Hegseth says there. Here's more from Senator Tim Kaine's questioning of him.
The incident in Monterey led to a criminal charge, a criminal investigation, a private settlement, and a cash payment to the woman who filed the complaint. And there was also a non-disclosure agreement, correct?
It was a confidential settlement agreement off of a nuisance lawsuit.
Right. During an interview, you claimed that you settled the matter because you were worried that if it became public, it might hurt your career. Do you maintain that you were blackmailed?
Senator, I maintain that false claims were made against me.
But you didn't reveal any of this to President Trump or the transition team as they were considering you to be nominated for Secretary of Defense. You didn't reveal the action. You didn't reveal the criminal complaint. You didn't reveal the criminal investigation.
to be fair, Trump, what was Trump going to do? High five him? Like, oh, you paid her and got out? Yeah. Can you believe they tried to prosecute me over Stormy Daniels? I did the same thing. Like, what was Trump going to say if he told him? There's a good chance he did tell Trump. Real good chance.
You didn't reveal the settlement. You didn't reveal the cash payment. Why didn't you inform the commander-in-chief and the transition team of this very relevant event?
Senator, I've appreciated every part of the process with the transition team. They have been open and honest with me. We've had great conversations between the two of us. And
in other words, I kind of told them, you know what I mean? But we all got a little dirt. There's another senator in these hearings that like says, oh, we've all got a little dirt on us, don't we? You know, and kind of tries to minimize it. Like everybody does this. So I don't know. I think that point was kind of on deaf ears, but it's funny to watch. And then I want to show you his interaction with
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Warren,
Mr. Hegseth.
just because as a contrast to, you saw her give the nod to the last Secretary of Defense that needed to be confirmed.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. So if you're confirmed as Secretary of Defense, you will oversee our military, including about 250,000 women who currently serve on active duty in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Space Forces, and the Marines. And I have serious concerns that your behavior toward women disqualifies you from serving in this role. Now, I've been trying to get answers from you for quite some time on this. You haven't wanted to meet or to answer any of my questions. So we'll just have to do it here and dive in. I want to pick up on some of the questions asked by Senator Shaheen and Gillibrand and Harun.
So that was something that was really weird that came out of these Senate confirmation hearings. I guess Hegseth went to the senators after the hearing and tried to set up meetings and just didn't do it before. And Senator Warren's going to go into his comments on why it's why he thinks women shouldn't be in military, and they haven't and he did a fabulous turnaround like 30 days ago or whatever. And of course he denies it, but I wanted to concentrate here on the end because she asked him like a really important question.
Now, Mr. Hegseth, you have written that after they retire, generals should be banned from working for the defense industry for 10 years. You and I agree on the corrosive effects of the revolving door between the Pentagon and defense contractors. It's something I would have liked to talk with you about if you'd come and been willing to visit with me. But the question I have for you on this...
Again, she throws that little needle, right? Like, that's what you're supposed to do.
...is, will you put your money where your mouth is and agree that when you leave this job, you will not work for the defense industry for 10 years?
Senator, it's not even a question I've thought about because it's not one now. It's not one. My motivation for this job.
I understand that. I just need a yes or no here.
Next.
Time is short. I just need a yes or no.
I would consult with the president about what the policy should be.
In other words, you're quite sure.
So yeah, she's nailed him down. Like he obviously wants to profit from that revolving door. And the crazy thing is he sees the danger in it, right? Because he's for the policy that generals, they shouldn't be allowed to go back and forth between private and government. But the Secretary of Defense, come on. I'm not the one driving the tank. I'm not the one out there on the floor. I just buy everything. I don't know.
That every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals. So you're saying sauce for the goose, but certainly not sauce for the gander?
I would want to.
Yeah. So I know he got a good laugh out of the room. He's not a general. He's not a general, but that's not her point, right? But again, the contrast is amazing. Amazing. Okay. Last one I want to show you is this
distinguished ranking member.
Senator Tammy Duckworth. Now she used to actually be in the military, so she asked him some pretty tough questions.
Did you lead an audit? Do you not know this answer?
Senator, every
Yes or
part
no?
of my
Never led an audit. What guidance did you give you to understand the complexity for our warfighters? Look, the Secretary of Defense is required to make quick decisions every single.
So just up until this, she was asking him about, like, you know, what's the biggest organization you've ever run? Obviously, the U.S. military is a huge organization, and it's got a huge budget. And she was trying to make the case that, you know, he's never audited. He just never run an organization that big. But more importantly, this is where she gets into, like, military stuff.
Single day that, well, with high level information that's being provided for them. A Secretary of Defense has to have breadth and depth of knowledge. Right now, I am concerned that you have neither. Mr. Hegseth, what is the highest level of international negotiations that you have engaged in, that you have led in? Because the Secretary of Defense does lead international security negotiations. There are three main ones that the Secretary of Defense leads and signs. Can you name at least one of them?
Could you repeat the question, Senator?
Sure. What is the highest level of international security agreement that you have led? And can you name some that the Secretary of Defense would lead? There's three main ones. Do you know?
I have not been involved in international security arrangements because I have not been in government other than serving in the military. So my job has been to
no. The
lead
answer is
men
no.
and
Can you
women in
name one of the
combat.
three main ones that the
You're
Secretary
talking
of
about
Defense
defense
signs?
arrangements. I mean, NATO might be one that you're referring to.
Status of Forces Agreement would be one of them.
Status of Forces Agreement. I've been a part of teaching about Status of Forces Agreements.
But you don't
inside
remember to mention
Afghanistan.
it?
That's such a, like, clear point, right? Like, she's trying to, like, this is like that question, you know, when they asked Trump back in 2016 what the nuclear triad was, and, you know, he didn't have, like, this is that moment. This is the guy that you're going to give the military to. Like, he can't answer this question. Like, I don't think he should be able to run the military either. But I think more than that, guys, it's just to show how far we've come from Trump 1.0 to Trump 2.0. So what we think we know from Trump's last presidency, I don't think, like, we've given enough credit to what he's learned he can get away with. Okay. Like, recently, at the time of recording this video, he's, could have been charged for January 6th, but can't be because he's president. He knows he can get away with tons and tons of stuff, and he's really pushing that agenda this time. So I hope you guys like this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.